You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton, here, hanging out with you guys in studio and actually coming to you guys real time. It is Tuesday afternoon. It's about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I got to get this episode done for a real-time upload tomorrow, Wednesday, which hopefully if you guys are listening in, it is Wednesday morning. So here's what I want to do on this episode. I want to talk to you guys about 3 different reasons why lawn care pricing is not $25 anymore, and just honestly give you the lay of the land about some different observations I've seen in the field, talking about pricing, labor, materials, the cost of goods. I've got a lot of different topics and ideas I want to share with you guys. And actually, if you guys have watched this YouTube video that we did yesterday, I'm going to do this a similar talk, but I want to go a little bit more into depth. It was a 9-minute video I shared on YouTube, where we talked about why our minimums for lawn care is over $37 for a weekly cut. Now, for us, that's really good. I know some of you guys, I get $40, I get $60. Look, I get it. Where we live, $25, $35, $40, like that is a style weekly cut for a subdivision style lawn. We make it up in volume. I think that's just the way of the nature of our region. But outside of that, I've got some other different ideas that I want to talk to you guys about, rant to you guys about, and actually give you a fun update story about the guy who complained that his price was too much, canceled us, and then just maybe, literally about 30 minutes ago, homie called me back, left a voicemail and said, hey, can you please make sure you take care of my lawn? And at first he was complaining and griping about the rate increase. But after giving him 2 weeks to, just let it kind of fester out there and let it simmer, he finally came back to yours truly. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about prices, raising prices, making more money, just observations, man, that we got going on out here in the landscape of our green industry, right? So let's do this really quick. We're going to kick it over to Marty, Mr. Producer. We're going to hear a little bit more about the show sponsors, the show announcements and updates, and also a little bit more about the Whole Ball of Wax promotion, which is going to end the end of this month, April. So we got 4 or 5 days left, maybe 2 days left at the time of this recording. So if you're on the fence, it is time to get off the fence. Never straddle the fence, especially if you're a dude. Let's check it out and we'll come right on back.
Let's talk about an easy way to help your landscape services continue growing this spring. If you're just starting to get into the irrigation business or are already offering irrigation installation as a part of your company's service line, the Go Green, Get Green sweepstakes could be just what you need. Here's the deal. Site One Landscape Supply and Rainbird are teaming up to give away $5,000 in Rainbird bucks. Between now and April the 30th, if you buy $500 or more of qualifying Rainbird products on a single invoice, you'll be automatically entered to win one of 10 grand prizes of $5,000 or one of 10 first prizes of $2,500 in Rainbird bucks. That's a big reward you can invest in your business. You can enter up to once a day for a chance to win. And again, this sweepstakes is only running until April the 30th, so stock up today. No purchase necessary to enter. For more information, visit siteone.com/gogreen.
Ratings and reviews. Each week, we take a minute to highlight your guys' reviews of the show.
Hey, I like this. We're starting off with our good friend, the lawn care rookie, Naylor Taliaferro, with the LCR Media Podcast. He says, crushing it. Brian is a true leader in the community. This podcast is a true asset and extension of Brian's great content. Tommy from Bubala Landscaping. Man, I butchered that, didn't I? He gives it a 5-star review. Best content ever. Love the podcast. Keep up the great work. By the way, if you want us to read your review, make sure it's a 5-star review. Anything less than that, we will probably dox you and turn your information over to one of those companies that'll make phone calls updating your car warranty. And you don't want that to happen. Mark Ross says, between Brian's shows every week and the Whole Ball of Wax, I'm on course to have my biggest year ever in the business. He also says, thank you to Mr. Producer for putting together a top-notch show. By the way, guys, the Whole Ball of Wax blowout is done Friday night at midnight. Do not miss out on turbocharging your business with all the amazing content over at launchpreneuracademy.com. The Hardscape Academy products that have been bundled in, and these 2 coaching calls, all for $9.99. At least check out the video that Brian has for you about the deal over at the website. Grayson Beck checking in. Thanks, Brian. You help me get through every day in which I'm working You have inspired me to grow a bigger and better landscape company. And finally, from Platinum Lawn and Landscape, great content. I truly appreciate the efforts Brian, Liz, and Mr. Producer put out every week on the air and behind the scenes, investing into all of us. It's truly a blessing. I, of course, enjoy listening to other contractors, coaches, and entrepreneurs that Brian has on the show, but the episodes that seem to have the biggest impact on my life are the ones when Brian and or Liz just come straight at us, unfiltered. Their journey has been inspirational and has proven the old saying, when you work hard, good things happen. Well, thank you, Platinum Lawn and Landscape. I enjoy the episodes with Liz as well, but the one she was on recently with that spooky laugh of hers, that was a little unsettling. When I had first bought my Amazon Alexa, there was a time or two that I felt like Hillary Clinton's cackling laugh, you know, that little cackle that she was famous for. I think somebody at Amazon was just playing a joke on people, but I heard a little bit of that in Liz's laugh. So fun stuff. Thanks, guys. Make sure to send in your review.
Want us to read your review next? Let us know how we're doing, and we might just read your review on next week's show.
All right, good deal, guys. Well, let's jump right into it. We'll talk a little bit more about the whole ball of wax promotion here at the end. I don't want you guys to miss out on that awesome opportunity. But let's do this. Let's talk about the topics that I was sharing a little bit more about yesterday from our YouTube video, and why lawn care is not a $25 service anymore in our industry. Now, a lot of you guys listening in, you guys cut grass, and you guys are probably dealing with the same kind of conversations and topics that I'm dealing with as well. For example, we're on this journey together. We all raised our rates over winter or early spring. A lot of you guys sent out the rate adjustment letters that we have for sale on launchpreneuracademy.com. And basically from there, we've raised our prices. Well, the reality is that some of our customers may or may not have liked the rate increases, or we're picking up new customers that are like, hey, why isn't lawn care $20 or $25 when you slap them with a $37 or a $40 cut minimum? Again, maybe where you guys live, it used to be $40, and now your weekly price is $55, and they're not used to paying that price. Well, here's what I wanted to just talk about was 3 or 4 different reasons or points. Some of them these I made in our YouTube video, which was, number one was labor. When you look at the cost of labor, guys, we used to be able to get guys on a weed whip, on the lawnmower for $10, $12, $14 an hour. I mean, I had paid $10, $12 an hour. It was like a recession-proof thing, like ramen noodles was a guy for $10 or $12 an hour on the trimmer. They were both like recession-proof. It was always $12 an hour for a guy on the trimmer. I've had 20 people work for my company over the last 15 years, maybe more, if you count like really part-time people or nights and weekend people. But we always paid those people $12, $14 an hour. And we had people for 1 to 3 years at a time. They'd work for me, they'd graduate, move on. Well, good luck trying to find anybody these days to operate a trimmer, a mower, or a foreman for less than $15, $18, $20 an hour. In fact, I was listening to my friend Mike Bedell, let you guys know Mike, great asset out there, the debt-free landscaper. He was talking about just last year, he was hiring people for $20, $22, $25 an hour, and it's just hard to get people to even stick at that rate. Which, by the way, we've done a lot of podcasts talking about why just paying people more isn't always the answer. So you guys can check out some other different episodes. We talked about that topic with Corey Ballard just recently, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. If you ever see an episode with Jeremy Connect with JJ Jacobs and JJ Grounds, Jeremy is amazing. We talked a couple good episodes with him about why people want to work for companies outside of just compensation, which the younger age group, that's usually the 5th thing that they want is compensation. There's 1 through 4 of the more intrinsic things, right? But the reality, it's still difficult to find people, even if you're paying them $15, $18, $20, $22 an hour, and you have a fun kumbaya team environment, right? So when somebody's like, hey, how come lawns aren't a $25 cut anymore? Well, because we can't find people to, cut grass for us for less than $15, $18, $20 an hour. In fact, if you look around town, and you guys tell me, let me know, share this, podcast or a screenshot if you guys want to share it on Instagram. We always appreciate the organic support. But same thing, zip around town, and tell me if you don't see a Tim Hortons, coffee and, donut shop that doesn't have a sign out front that says, now hiring excited team members or friendly staff, $14 an hour. Around town, we have like McDonald's and KFCs now starting at $14 an hour. I mean, these are fast food restaurants. They used to pay $8.75, $9.75. And let's look at the other end of the spectrum. You've got the Amazons, $15, $18 an hour. You've got some of these moving companies, 15, 18, 20, 25 bucks an hour. Then you got the more corporate professional people making 20, 25, 30 bucks an hour. It's just different. It's just different. So I actually had this whole conversation on this YouTube. I talked about a lady that we signed up last week, Thursday, Friday. I think I signed her up on Friday because I was mowing by myself. And the lady goes, $37 for a weekly cut. She goes, okay. She goes, I thought it'd be like $25. And she was nice. She was totally cool, totally cordial. And I wasn't a jerk like, hey, this is why, lady. I was honest with her. We were just getting to know each other. We were just talking. And I said, I can't get a guy to, work the trimmer for $15, $18 an hour or less, I should say. And then, talking about cost of gas and labor, material, all this stuff. And she goes, no, honey, I get it. Like things are going through the roof. And so that's my point. I want to continue to talk about this is that for you guys listening in, we talk about all the time about raising our rates, right? We talk all the time about knowing your worth. And I've heard many people, including a friend of the show, Troy Clogg, say, our prices aren't determined by the customer. They're determined by the market value. They're determined by us and also us as a community together talking about raising our rates together. Now, it's funny because I want to do a YouTube video eventually talking about like, should lawn care be a licensed thing? Because it would keep the chuck and the trucks out of the industry. But at the same point, it's an industry where I don't know if I would have got started in it if I would have needed a license. But when there's no barrier to entry, almost everybody can do it. And the caveat is, I know a lot of you guys are like, hey, well, that's why I do landscaping. That's why I do hardscaping. That's why I do tree removal. Hey, I get it. Like we do too. We're doing more lawn improvements, landscape improvements. What does Paul Jameson with the Green Industry Podcast call it? Landscape enhancements. I love that term. We're doing more of that. We have like a half dozen residential jobs with mulch and pruning and bed redefining. I don't like doing that stuff in the past, but now I'm like, you know what? If I don't have to deal with as many customers, as many people complaining about a $25 or $37 lawn cut, and it's just easier work, we're on the job a little bit more, I'm starting to go from like 90-10 to like 70-30, 60-40, probably by the end of this year with lawn care to landscape enhancements. I just find it so much more appealing than dealing with all the crap. And maybe you guys are out there too, feeling the same way. So this is just kind of some real talk and where I'm at with my perspective with my business. So when we're talking about this whole topic, I told the lady 3 different reasons really quick why her price for lawn care wasn't $25. I said, look, lady, and I was really, really cool. It wasn't like, look, lady. I said, look, the reason is labor is through the roof. I say gas prices are through the roof. Gas is 200% more than it was just 12 months ago. And I have customers that have, signs in their, front lawns from last Politico season, and maybe their opinion differs from mine. And they had some different things that they had in their front lawn. And maybe I didn't agree with it. And maybe you don't agree with it. Maybe you do agree with it. Who cares? Let's not get lost in the mud here. The reality was I had a customer and his rate went up $4 and he goes, why? And I said, well, labor and gas prices and small business taxes. And he goes, whoa, I didn't think that, it would affect my lawn care price. I thought it would only, affect my, Jeff Bezos. And I went, you're 35, bro. You should really start figuring this stuff out. But his lawn price went up $4 a week. And he voted maybe different than I did, right? And so the perspective is that I had to tell him and just educate him, right? And that's what I would encourage you guys or implore you guys to do with your customers. Just take 2 minutes and educate them. Say, hey, you know what? We used to do this retaining wall for $5,000. Now it's $8,000. We used to do a couple pallets of sod, and then this job would be, I don't do sod, but $2,000-3,000. Now it's $3,800. And if somebody's like, well, why? Just explain, the reality of it. I've realized, hate it or like it, our industry, we have to not justify our price, but educate the customer. Right? That we never want to justify and backpedal or apologize. And I have some of you guys out there, well, why, always charge $25 for a $40 cut for seniors because they're seniors. And I'm like, I get that. Like I do, trust me, we do a lot of that stuff. And I enjoy doing it, but not because I feel like I'm saving the customer $15. I'm like, it's just like like not a loss, but I just write it off saying, all right, well, we're going to do this for free. Or something happened. Like we had a customer, part of the board, and for a HOA we manage, his home literally burned down. I showed it on Instagram just from the street. I didn't want to like glorify it or take advantage of it, but I said, we'll mow it for free. And he goes, oh, no. I'm like, dude, it's no big deal. Like he lost 2 cars. They got, just baked to the ground in the front. Like they just melted down, incinerated. Lost the whole like 2/3 of his home. The whole thing's condemned. He can't even get in it. It's like super awful story, right? So we're just mowing it for free. And I said, I'll take care of it for you. But the reality is, like, if you can't afford my service in today's market, like, it's not my problem. Like these seniors with fixed incomes, I have a heart, but at the same point, like, I have a business and I have to take care of my family. And we do a lot of free cuts, and we do some discounted, senior price cuts for customers, but I can't continue to run my business just because you're over a certain age. I have to discount it. Like Walmart doesn't do that. Home Depot doesn't do that. Ford doesn't do that. Like, sorry, I don't know what else to tell you. So I'm just trying to talk out loud here with some different ideas. Is that why is lawn care not $25 anymore? Labor's through the roof. Gas is through the roof. Materials, guys. I heard Ed Wright say that not everybody who wants a lawnmower this year is going to get a lawnmower. And that's the truth. I see, I'm in the Toro/Exmark owners Facebook group. Guys, I don't even do Facebook groups. Don't invite me to your Facebook groups. I don't go on Facebook in general. I don't know. I'm in this weird like purgatory of like an age group where I'm on Instagram, I'm not on Facebook. I don't know. I'm on YouTube. Find me on YouTube, right? Or a podcast. But in there, everybody is griping and complaining that there's no Toro, help me out, Titans maybe on the showroom floors, and Exmarks are like in limited supply, and all these different brands. And Ed Wright was saying not everybody who wants a Wright stander is going to get one this year. So put your orders in now. Or he was saying this like 2 months ago. And, by the way, outside of like the lawnmower and the green industry, you look at the price of wood, right? I don't want to beat a dead horse on that one. You look at the price of cars, and dealers used to do inventory swaps with each other. Now they're not doing it because inventory is so tight. You look at the fact that you can't even get computer chips for half these cars. That's a huge problem in Metro Detroit right now. Every day on the radio, production's going to be limited because there's no computer chips for these cars. Whatever the computer chip is, whatever it does, it probably manages and monitors the flux capacitor control and whatever. So the reality is that everything is like freaking screwed up. Okay. And so here's the other one, inflation. Okay. And this is a business podcast. We talk a lot about business, life, lessons, the whole deal. But I think something that a lot of people, if you know, and if you don't know, you're like, this is new and you got to learn this stuff quick. And this is the kind of window we're in economy-wise and administration-wise and policy-wise, where you really should be paying attention to a lot of the life lessons here. Because last time this happened, I was 21 back in 08, 09. And I was like, hey, why is this so much more? Why were condos $89,000 and then by 2012, 2013 they were $139, $149, $169? Why was gas $2 and then it went up to $4.50 a gallon? And then why did it come down to $1.89? Like, don't just be reactionary or say, man, this sucks, or what's going on around here. Look and observe and figure things out and start observing why things are happening behind the scenes. Well, a big one right now is inflation. And inflation is really simply the more money that they print, it dilutes the current money supply. So what really happens is the government prints money, they get to spend it first. So when they spend it, it has more value. When they spend it and it goes into the marketplace, it has less value. So by the time you get it second hand, third hand, fourth, 85th, 85,000th hand, right, from these government stimulus packages, the purchasing power is already worth a lot less. So, and again, you can say, this is why I'm so like kind of moderate on this topic, is conservative or Democrat. Like, guys, it's so beyond that. Like, you're getting screwed as a middle-class person. I'm getting screwed as a middle-class person because they spent whatever the first stimulus was, $1.9 trillion. Then the next administration, $1.4 whatever. They printed $4 trillion or $7 trillion, I think, in total like entitlements in the last 12, 18, 24 months. That's insane. That money is going to hit the streets. And by the time it gets to me and you, it's already been spent, 5 times over. When we have that money into our pocket, it's going to be worth a lot less. And so everything costs more. Trucks used to be 30, 40 grand. It's 60, 70, 80 grand. Mowers used to be 10, 12. Now they're 14, 16. It's literally insane. And so if you're not raising your prices, I mean, now more than ever. It used to be like a once a year thing. And I'm not saying raise your prices, twice or 3 times in a season for lawn maintenance. But if you're doing brick pavers and brick, hardscaping, or you got landscape materials, like, you need to be adjusting this stuff month to month, bro. Like, it's crazy. And you know what really hit me was, I was at our mulch supplier, Site One. Love Site One. They're great. They're a sponsor on the show. Well, I went in there. It's nothing against Site One. It's just business, right? Mulch was $34 a yard for brown wood mulch, and last year it was like $28.50. And I'm like, really? Because I signed my contracts at, let's say a 34-yard mulch job for a commercial site comes in at $3,300 or $3,195, whatever it is, right? So I just renewed my mulch price without really shopping my mulch price. Well, mulch went up $6 per yard times 30. I just took a $180 loss on my one commercial account. And, it's $180. Like, life goes on. There's still great margin there. But, if you have a $5 million company, that could be a $25,000 to $50,000 hit if you did them, if you what you guys know what I'm saying? You scaled it out, you exponential it out, you start looking at the different numbers, and you realize, man, that extra little $5.50 or $6 increase in mulch, that could really, really eat into your costs. You look at fuel prices. I renewed my contracts in January, February, like a lot of you guys did. Now, we do have fuel surcharge language in a lot of our contracts. And if you don't, add it to it, because if gas gets over $3.50 a gallon, we reserve the right to charge a fuel premium. It could be a $1 premium, it could be a 3% premium, it could be whatever you want to put in your contract. But the point is, like, man, you want to talk about hot potato. It's crazy. Wood used to be $12. Now it's $54 to $60 a sheet for OSB. This is stuff that you got to pay attention day to day, week to week, month to month at this point. It's just crazy. I wrote down a couple other things here really quick. Talking about the cost of other materials going up. Procter and Gamble. This is like real time podcast. So if you're listening to this in late April of 2021, a little timestamp here. Procter & Gamble just said, yeah, the next thing that's going to be raised on our prices, commodity items like toothpaste, deodorant, diapers, baby food. Like, this money is hitting the John Q public. It's hitting the middle class. And so if you're not adjusting your price, this is the whole point. If you're not adjusting your prices, like, you're automatically going backwards. And by the way, a lot of you guys on that video were saying, yeah, all these chucks in a truck, are ruining it for the industry. Yes and no, right? Here's my point. 10 to 15% of the customer base out there is always looking for that 10 to 15% of our industry, which is the chuck and the trucks. A lot of them infight. Let the chucks and the trucks, the guys that are just getting started, maybe they don't know. By the way, you might have been a chuck in the truck. So, like, let's have a little bit of respect and just, take it easy on those folks. Maybe they don't know what they don't know. Maybe they're just trying to get started. Maybe they're the, special, Brian's Law Maintenance 10, 15 years ago, and he didn't know what he didn't know. It wasn't mean the guy was, like, malicious or trying to, like, hurt our industry. Like, have some empathy. Okay. Let's be an industry that always uplifts. There's enough people putting each other down, talking trash, backbiting, gossiping. Let's not be an industry of those people. At least if you're listening to my podcast, guys, please, like, let's be good finders in people, right? Let's build the next guy up, help that guy out. Maybe he doesn't know what he doesn't know. Turn him on to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast, the Green Industry podcast, Lawn Care Business Success podcast. But the point is, all these different costs are going up. You don't have to service these customers that are the cheap customers out there. I got a lot of guys in Florida. Man, all these people like underbid and underprice. What used to be a $40 cut, I got people jumping out of the back of their pickup for $20. I get it, but you shouldn't be necessarily trying to target all those customers that those guys are targeting. Find a gated community, find a middle class, upper middle class community, spend $800 on a postcard marketing campaign with Postcard Mania or Send Jim. And from there, try to target those nicer upper middle class subdivisions, right? Let's not compete with the, corner lot 7-Eleven that has a $20 weekly mow budget. The speedways that are out there. God bless Speedway. Get your points, right? So you get gas at Speedway, then you go use your points, you go get a hot dog, and it gives you gas, right? Like you get gas twice. How about that? Well, don't be competing for the speedways where they're like, hey, our budget to do the mulch is $400 of red mulch. Listen, if that's the case, turn it down. Turn it down. It goes back to the customer that we had where he was saying, hey, the price is $34 for a weekly cut. I only get a 3% raise at GM. And Liz and I were in the car and we were looking at each other and we said, hey, dude, it's not really our problem. As we went back to the customer, I said, hey, look, $34 is actually a pretty fair price because $37 is our new weekly rate. And, to be honest with you, that is a really good price. And, imagine this. Imagine any other industry where you went and told the customer or the person, I should say, that's offering the service, and you told them, hey, I'm going to shop around for a better price. And if I can't find it, I'm going to come back to you. Like, it's the most rude statement that somebody could actually make, and it's somehow allowable in our industry from the customer saying that to us as contractors. Like, that's crazy. Like, if I told my architect, hey, it's 15 grand to get your house plans done, or 5 grand or 10 grand to get your house plans done, I'm going to shop around. I'm going to see if I can beat your price, and if not, I'm going to come back to you. Like, if I said that to my architect, not only would he not build my home, he would laugh me out of the room. Like, it's the most supremely rude thing that customers say to all of us. And one of my heart desires is people respect the green industry and what all of you guys do for a living way more. Because again, some of the smartest, sharpest people out there I know are in the green industry. You guys are artisans. You guys know how to design, build, maintain, grow, run companies. You're like little Gary V's out there running around, myself included. And it's just crazy what people will say to you out there. And that was that kind of guy. He came back. He just texted me, like I said, about 2 hours ago, literally real time, real examples. The guy texted me back and actually called me, left a voicemail, and he goes, hey, I noticed that you did, this is the best part, right? I do the neighbor to the left of him, the 2 neighbors across the street from him. And he goes, hey, I noticed you didn't do my lawn today. Can I ask why? Let me know if you're able to do it. So I texted him back a paragraph, which the last text message we exchanged was this big 2-paragraph blue text from me saying why it's more money. And so he hits me back and says, oh, yeah, go ahead and do it. Just add us to the list, please. We appreciate it. That was via text. And I said, no problem. As long as you agree to the rate increase, we're going to be back in your subdivision tomorrow. And he goes, okay, no problem. Thank you. I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. The reality is that in the last 2 weeks, he did not find another guy that wanted to call him back. He did not find another guy that wanted to do it for my price or less. He's got to learn a whole new system. And look, dude, I'm sorry you only got a 3% raise from GM. But the reality is that my fuel price is up 100%. My labor cost is up 30%. My material costs are up, $6 on 30. What is that? 20% again. I said, so 100, 30, and 20. I don't know what that is, the aggregate across the board. Somebody from LMN can figure that out. They're very smart people. You know what I'm saying? My costs are up 20, 25%. And so I'm like, listen, dude, to have your price go up $4, I told him, we're not making any more money on that. Right? We're not making in this huge headwind on this extra profit. That's why I've got my personal company. We're mowing less and we're looking at more landscaping because the margin is there. Whether it's perceived value or what, customers are just interested in paying more for landscaping and hardscaping. And I don't know, man. I'm just telling you guys real time. People are like, what's your plan? What's your huge MO? What's your 5-year plan? What's your 3-year plan? What's your 1-year plan? And I'm like, listen, dude, relax. I don't know. I'm learning every day just like you guys. I have a goal income-wise of what me and my wife need to make to be able to accomplish our dreams and goals for the year. I have a wealth strategy, thanks to my boy Mike Bedell and my CPA. We actually have a meeting with our CPA in 2 weeks where we do quarterly meetings. And we're moving the mark to where we want to be financially in the next 5, 10, 20 years. And then we are basically working that plan backwards. So the goal with the business is hit my financial income goals. And it's almost like by whatever means possible. So if I need to explore more landscaping, Lord knows I'm enjoying doing it because it's getting me to the goal, and I'm finding myself a little bit more invigorated in that process versus dealing with somebody who wants to gripe about a $4 increase on the weekly cut price. Now, again, guys, keep investing in yourself, keep investing in your business, keep investing in your branding, keep investing in your marketing. That way you don't have to deal with this bottom 10, 15, 20% customer base out there that is so price focused, so price sensitive, so price oriented. Whole ball of wax is a great option for you, right? We got that promotion running right now. Another interesting caveat or flip side of this whole conversation is there are people that are willing to pay the price. There are people that are willing to pay your rates. For example, we signed up, I would have to say like 6 or 7 new customers. I can riddle off 4 or 5 off the top of my head, but I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new customers, 9 new customers. 9 new customers. Funny thing is, like 7 out of the 9 are on my Thursday route, and my Thursday route's already like 32 lawns. So we have to readjust our Thursday route, shave a third of it, bring it to Wednesday. I lost a third of my Wednesday route because we lost 8 or 9 customers in this one subdivision I do because we raised prices. But I also don't care because it's so funny. Like we gained 9, we lost 8 or 9, we gained 8 or 9. Unfortunately, they were all on like one section of this one subdivision I do in this one road where I have, there's like 800 homes down there. And we, knock out 32 lawns. But now I got to bring 9 of those from another part of the subdivision over to my Wednesday route. So I'm like, now I'm in the subdivision twice, which I don't like that, but it is what it is. So we're gaining customers like crazy. We have 9 new people that signed up, and I'm like, hey, it's going to be $37. And they go, okay, when can you get started? And I'm like, $37, dude. If you would have told me 2, 4, 5 years ago, 10 years ago that I'd get $37, and I know, guys, insert your number here. I got to keep saying this 1,000 times so I get some smart ass on Instagram. $37 for a weekly cut. I'm at $65 a week. Yeah, dude, but you're mowing an acre and a half. Like, come on. I'm like, you're sharp enough to run a lawnmower. Hopefully you have enough brain cells to connect the dots that you're cutting 3 times the amount of property. I don't understand the disconnect sometimes with these people, these outlier people that comment on Instagram. Yeah, well, my price is $80 a weekly. I don't drop the rent for less than $45. Yeah, but you're doing a half acre. We do a 4,000 square foot subdivision lawn. They're tiny little lawns that take us 15, 20 minutes with one guy. So anyway, I'm excited about the prices that we're getting. It's crazy because I feel like, like some prince over here just printing his own money. Like I got my own stimulus money going. It's a printing press, which is getting new lawn care customers at $37 a week. We used to be $22, $20, $27, $25s. Now we're getting $35, $30. But at the same point, am I really getting ahead? I guess that's the point. Are we really getting ahead? Because the reality is that gas prices is up 200%. Labor prices are up, material prices are up, lawnmower prices are up. It is crazy. Aerators used to be $8,500. Now aerators are $12 and $13,000. Lawnmowers used to be $9, $10,000. My first Laser Z, I think it was an S series. I think it was 10.4. A Laser Z X, so a different series, not apples to apples here, but a Laser Z X is like 15.4. So it's just crazy. Like, it's another, I get it. It might have been 10.4, 6 years ago, and now it's 12.4. But the reality is still up $2,000. And what is it all? Inflation. So I guess here's the takeaway from this episode. I'm not trying to rant or complain, but the point is you got to really keep up with your numbers, man. It's so funny. Like, I don't know if it's just like an omen with our industry, but like whatever we talk about the year before seems to really play a big role in the following year. So maybe we're predicting or creating our own future here. Or more, maybe it's the whole, like, if you're buying an F-150 and you bought an F-150, then you start seeing F-150s. Maybe that's the case. But I'm telling you guys straight up, we talked about knowing your numbers all last year. And this economy right now is seriously a game of hot potato. I mean, the numbers, the supply chain, the distribution, the cost of goods, it is a daily change. It is a daily, weekly, monthly change right now. Let me give you another last, for instance. I was at a friend's birthday party about a week ago on Saturday. Really good friend of mine. His wife's dad is a builder. Great dude. His name is Bob. Bob the Builder. Great guy. And shout out to Bob if he ever listens to the podcast, which I know he won't. But we got our whole architecture plans done. We're about to apply for a loan for the house. So if you guys want to pray for us, that's cool because we're borrowing, like $1 billion. And then outside of that, we take that all to our builder, and he's quarterbacking this whole thing. So it's really interesting because my friend's wife's dad, Bob the builder, great dude. I'm telling him this whole home plan, showing him photos, the layout. I got all these photos on my phone, and he's excited for us. And he goes, well, what are you doing about this? And what are you doing about that? And what about home prices and, or material prices? I'm like, look, dude, it is what it is. Like, I've saved money. I'm making money. I'm saving more money. Listen, I don't do anything. I mean, literally, I know it was like my outside look like we're flashy, but dude, we don't do a dang thing. Like the only thing I bought in the last 5 years was like my truck, and that's about paid for here at the end of May, which is really exciting. All lawn care money. And then the Tesla, it's a payment. Who cares? But we don't do anything. So I told him, I'm like, dude, we're sending on, a couple bucks cash. And I'm really excited about putting this whole thing together. I said, do you have any suggestions as I work with my builder as a second opinion, and also the bank and any of the vendors? And he goes, it's crazy. He goes, lock anything you can in right now. He goes, very unlikely is anything going to come down. You'll see things stabilize. But he goes, for instance, he said, I can't even get a wood order like for building materials. They won't even guarantee prices longer than, I think he said 3 days. So I don't know what kind of data to pull from that for our industry specifically, because I don't think our prices fluctuate that crazy. But the bottom line, guys, if the lumber mills and the direct consumer, business model and all this other stuff about wood, they can't even guarantee wood prices for more than 72 hours, at least in this example. And, he could have been talking OSB and all the frame, wood, or I don't even know. Like, I'm not a builder, right? But the reality is that if he can't even have one of his suppliers guarantee prices for more than 3 days, and you guys bid stuff 6 months ago, a year ago, 3 weeks ago, just look at your numbers again, would you? Just double check, cross your T's, dot your I's, whatever they say, and just double check, because that's why we scream so hard: invest in your future, invest in yourself, invest in your ability to analyze, invest in your ability of getting education for yourself, right? Like if you want to go buy real estate and try to get cash flow out of a property, almost anything will cash flow if you do it right. But the reality is that you have to be educated on how to get it to cash flow, right? So there's like that asterisk, that caveat that's in there. Well, same thing with our industry. You can make money almost in any part of our industry, but you got to know your numbers and you got to really look at things. And, one thing I'll give a little plug here. I've been listening to Caleb Allman's podcast. Very, very underrated podcast. You guys got to check out Caleb Allman's the Kid Contractor podcast. I envy the contractors of hardscaping and pools and the back patio folks, outdoor living spaces. I live vicariously through Andy Mulder, Josh Sutton, a couple of these other guys, and some of the guests that Caleb has had on. If you guys have not listened to the Kid Contractor podcast, you're definitely missing out there. And Caleb didn't ask me to share it. I'm really impressed with the production quality from him and Mr. Producer, who also works on Caleb's show, but just the guests. I mean, I've been learning things like crazy about cost, materials, job costing, P&Ls, and so I don't think we have to worry about this day to day for lawn maintenance professionals. But here's what I'll just tell you guys. Pay close attention to your numbers, okay? Everything's going up through the roof. Middle class is getting wiped out. If you're not, I say this sincerely, like if you're not having a side hustle nights and weekends, it doesn't have to be YouTube, okay? But don't take your finances for granted right now. Like, don't be buying stupid stuff. Reinvest that for gains. Rental properties, go put it in crypto. I don't care what you guys do, but I'm just saying, be smart with your money right now. Now's not a time to just splurge and buy dumb stuff. Not when the economy or the different administrations have different policies, but they print, $4 to $7 trillion. So again, you can complain, you can gripe, you can moan, but the best thing you can do right now, the best ability for a business owner I've heard is being adaptability. I'm gonna write a whole book on this topic later in life, but you guys got to be adaptable right now, and that's what I would just leave you with. Be adaptable. Keep your ears up, keep your ears open, keep your eyes open, look at your prices, look at your numbers. Again, I shorted myself probably $600 in material costs for around 100 yards of mulch that we have moved and are finishing up moving this weekend. So did I want to short myself $600 to $800? No. Do I overly care? No. Life goes on. We'll figure it out. But would I've liked to have had that money in my account versus not? Yeah, 100%. So I didn't factor in that all of our material costs would cost me another 6 to 10% in just 12 weeks based on contracts we had sold and closed and whatnot just in January and February. That's how crazy this thing is working. So how crazy things are moving. So that's what I got for you guys on today's podcast. Just a different kind of a podcast. Keep your head on a swivel. I'm always praying for you guys, always pulling for you guys. If you're new to the show, we want to just say thank you for listening. Thank you for letting me talk at you for a half hour. We always appreciate Marty putting the show together, with the ones and twos and the ads and the sponsors, the whole ball of wax promotion. One of the brainchilds of him and I working together. So many of you guys, speaking of Caleb Allman, the Hardscape Academy promotion is what's part of the whole ball of wax promotion right now. So for $9.99, it's your last, day and a half to get access to that. You get 38 resources on launchpreneuracademy.com. You get the how to install pavers, how to install retaining walls, and a $50 webinar all for free from the Hardscape Academy if you buy the whole ball wax. It's not retroactive. Sorry, it's not our program. We can't do that. So if you were part of the whole ball of wax before, you get lifetime updates and any new programs or resources we roll out, which is always going to be more stuff in the future. Got 3 or 4 different things we're baking on right now that we should have ready for you guys by fall. Very excited about that. But lifetime access, lifetime updates, and lifetime upgrades to the whole ball of wax. So if you guys have not checked that out, you guys are looking to make a career change, you guys want to invest into us, you guys want to invest in yourself, you guys want to reciprocate from the podcast, whatever, dude. I have some people that buy it and they're like, hey, I don't even need it. I just want to say thank you for helping me make $250,000 with my lawn landscape business. I couldn't have done it without you, your YouTube videos, and the podcast. And I'm like, thanks, dude. I super appreciate that. Some of those guys out there, they know who they are. Shout out to my boy Roger down in Texas. So whole ball of wax, that wraps up here at the end of April. So I think the last day of the month, if I'm not mistaken, is Friday. So that's going to go through the end of the month, midnight, with that exceptional promotion with us and the Hardscape Academy. Jump on that if you guys are on the fence. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Don't sit on the fence. Don't be that guy. Be bold. Be a person of faith. Be a person that's bold. And let these resources go to work for you, and it'll, 10x, 100x what you got going on with the investment into it for $9.99. Super excited about making that available to you guys. That was a promotion so many of you asked for earlier this spring. So super excited about that. But guys, that's where I'm going to wrap it up. Shout out to Mr. Producer for putting this together. Check out Caleb Allman's Kid Contractor podcast. The last 4 or 5 episodes have been banger. As always, check out my friend Paul Jameson, Green Industry Podcast. If you guys want more day-to-day motivation, that's my boy Paul over there. Also was wrapping up his book, Cut That Grass and what is it, Paul? Cut That Grass and Make That Cash. Thank you. Talking to my friend Paul here at the studio like he does with Mr. Producer. That's funny right there. And anyway, so I had to listen to Paul's book at 1.2 speed because Paul read it a little bit slower to qualify it for Audible, if you guys know what I'm saying. So I listened to it at 1.2 speed, and it sounds the same, actually. It sounds pretty good. So if you guys want a little business tip there from Fullerton Unfiltered with the Green Industry Podcast and Cut That Grass and Make That Cash, I got you guys back real time. All right, guys. Well, as always, appreciate you more than you guys know. Thank you for listening in. As always, if you guys need anything, shoot me a DM on Instagram. If you guys enjoy the show, definitely share it with a buddy or a lawn bro. We always appreciate that. Guys, I'm in it, man. I'm in it thick and thin with you. I'm doing this every single day. We're in it together. We're mowing grass. I had somebody trolling me on Instagram or a YouTube comment. Man, I don't even know if you really even work. I'm like, do you not follow a dang thing that we put out for content? Watch my Instagram stories. I'm out there literally sweating it out, just like all of you guys. And I said, do you even cut grass? I'm going to come interview you, not the other way around. Put me on the chopping block. So anyway, which way? I love you guys. Always appreciate you. And if you need anything, shoot me a DM or an email, and we'll always get back with you. So let's kick it back over to Marty, Mr. Producer, back in the ATL, and we will look forward to catching up with you guys here on Friday.
What's the saying? Do you even mow, bro? Well, Mr. Producer is not even a home gamer anymore. After I learned that I had somebody in my area who attended Launchpreneur Academy Live, who listened to Brian and Paul's podcast, I was able to make the leap to hiring a pro, just like you guys. And I got to say, my yard has never looked so good. Now, in case you had to take your headset off to yell at one of your guys as the podcast was going on today and you missed the news, this Friday, April 30th, 2021 at midnight, the Whole Ball of Wax promotion is over. Now, I know you've heard us talking about it ad nauseum, so no need to spell out every detail. The only detail you need to know is the deal's going to be pushing up the daisy shortly, and we don't want you to miss out. So head over to launchpreneuracademy.com and make an investment in yourself, an investment in your future.
Are you a landscape contractor? Handle all your to-dos in seconds with SiteOne.com. Now you can place orders from anywhere, available for pickup or delivery. Access personalized pricing and check the inventory at your local SiteOne branch anytime. With tools like these always at your fingertips, getting more out of every workday is as simple as click, click, done. Get your account today at SiteOne.com.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.
Amazon acknowledging a malfunction that's causing Alexa devices to just start laughing without prompting. That's tonightsdaily.com. It's quiet in the house. No one else is home and the cat is fast asleep. Then you hear a disembodied woman's voice let out a short, mocking cackle. No, you're not being haunted. It's just Amazon's Alexa voice assistant malfunctioning in a profoundly creepy way. Don't worry, Echo owners. Amazon says Alexa hasn't become self-aware, and while it's not what you'd expect, some Alexa users are reporting their devices are randomly laughing over the last day. The unprompted laughter consists of 3 short ha sounds and a woman's voice that doesn't resemble Alexa's normal voice, and it seems to be happening when no one is using the device or in response to a request to turn the lights on or off. Amazon says it's aware of the issue. It's working to fix it. The company did not say what's causing the problem.